Back everyone, this is the second part of the electrical system of the ATR 72600. In the previous video we talked about the DC electrical system, and in this video I'll be talking about the AC constant and the AC wide frequency networks. So let's dive into it. So in the AC constant frequency network, the power supply is from two static inverters, which are here, the inverter 1 and the inverter 2. These are powered by the DC generator 1 and the DC generator 2. These inverters convert DC to AC, and they have two outputs, which are 115 volt AC and 26 volt AC. The inverter 1 supplies the AC bus 1 and the AC standby bus. The inverter 2 supplies the AC bus 2. Just like the BTCs we had in the DC network, we have the AC BTRs in this. BTR stands for a bus tie relay. So with this BTR, we can transfer power from one inverter to both the buses, which are the AC bus 1 and the AC bus 2, in case any DC bus is inoperational. In the event of both DC buses failure, the inverter 1 is supplied by the hot main battery bus or by the hot emergency battery bus in case the second override is selected. The inverter 1 can also be powered by the TRU if it's on. When you isolate the DC BTC by using this isol button, the AC BTR also gets isolated automatically, so that all the systems are isolated in case of an unknown electrical smoke. Now moving on the AC wild frequency network. In this network, two AC wild generators are run by the reduction gearbox of the engine, and the reduction gearbox is connected to the rotating propeller. So the NP or the propeller RPM will define the AC wild generator's functions. Just like in the DC generators, the GCU or the generator control unit controls and protects the AC wild generators as well. The GCU opens the contactors to disconnect the AC wild generator in case of any problems. The AC wild generators come online above 66% of the propeller RPM. So when the propeller RPM is more than 66%, the AC wild generators will be online. The AC wild generator 1 supplies to the AC wild bus 1, which also supplies the AC wild service bus. The AC wild generator 2 supplies to the AC wild bus 2, which further supplies the TRU or the transformer rectifier unit. There are two BTCs or bus tie contactors in this network, which are connected in series. So you can see this is the first one and this is the second one. These BTCs are also controlled by the BPCU or the bus power control unit. Both the BTCs open or close at the same time. In the AC wild network, as soon as one AC wild generator fails, the AC wild service bus is disconnected for load shedding reasons. Now let's talk about the TRU. The transformer rectifier unit or the TRU converts alternating current to direct current. The power supply to the TRU is by the AC wild generator 2. We know that the AC wild generators are connected via the propeller. So as long as the propellers are rotating, the AC wild buses will produce current. Because we know that the AC wild generators are online as long as the propeller RPM is more than 66%. So with the help of the TRU, the DC system can be supplied by the AC wild electrical system in case of a dual DC generator's failure. So here we can see that both the DC generators are not operational. So the TRU is supplying the DC electrical system, and the TRU is taking its supply from the AC wild network and converting that AC wild frequency into DC. The TRU operational is manual, and we have to press the TRU push button, which is over here. As soon as we get a dual DC generator's failure, the system is supplied by the batteries. And when we press the TRU push button, the TRU enables the AC wild generation system to partially energize the DC electrical system. When the TRU is connected, it supplies the inverter 1, which supplies to the AC service bus. The TRU supplies to the DC essential bus, to the DC standby bus, and also to the DC emergency bus. The arrow on the TRU push button shows that it is supplying current to all these 4 buses. Now let's talk about a scenario where you have a dual DC generators loss and your AC wild generator 2 also fails. So in this situation, the AC wild generator 1 can supply to the AC wild bus 1, which can further supply to the AC wild bus 2 using the AC wild BTCs, and the AC wild bus 2 can further supply to the TRU. And the TRU can partially energize the DC electrical system like this. Okay, so this is the cockpit of the ATR 72600, and I'll just give you a brief about where the panels are for the electrical systems. So the controls of the electrical system are on the overhead panel, which is this one. And this panel you see over here, this is for the DC electrical system, and this is for the AC wild electrical system. The AC constant frequency electrical system is on the top of the DC electrical systems panel. So if we start by talking about the DC electrical panel, on the bottom we have two push buttons for the DC generator 1 and the DC generator 2, which are normally in the pressed in position. If there is any fault, we just push these pressed in push buttons to turn the DC generators off. This push button is for the external power. Whenever we see this green away light, we press in this push button to connect to the external power. Now talking about this push button. So this is the shed amber light we see whenever at least one of the utility buses are shed. And when we see the shed amber light, we can use this push button to turn the DC service and the DC utility buses off. Now this is the guarded push button for the BTC. We can use this to isolate both buses in case of an electrical fire. This is a center zero ammeter which shows the current of our batteries, and we can use this toggle switch to switch between the emergency and the main batteries. Now these two push buttons over here are to open the battery charge contactors. So if we see any faults, we can use these push buttons to open the battery charge contactors so that our batteries do not get charged. Now these two arrows light up whenever our batteries are being used. The left arrow is for the emergency battery and the right arrow is for the main battery. This is the battery toggle switch which we use to turn on the battery or turn off the battery. We can also put the battery in the override position using this toggle switch. This is the guarded push button for the TRU, and this arrow shows that the TRU is supplying the 4 buses. This guarded push button is used for the second override function of the battery. These two indications over here are for the AC buses, and if there's any fault, it will come up over here. Now for the AC wild frequency network, we have two push buttons for the AC wild generator 1 and the AC wild generator 2. We have a push button for the external power which works same as the DC external power push button. Whenever we see the green avail light, we can press this push button to get the on light and to connect to the AC wild external power. This is the BTC guarded push button which we can use to isolate the two AC wild buses. And these two indications are regarding the AC wild buses.
Okay, so with this we come to the end of the electrical systems. In the first part we talked about the DC electrical system, and in this part we talked about the AC constant frequency and the AC wild frequency networks. So I hope these quick notes are helping you in some way or the other. I'll keep posting different systems, and thanks for watching. Please leave your reviews or suggestions in the comments. Thank you.